We're going. Welcome back to the Street Shaman Podcast. I am your host, Shamanic Poe, aka Poe the Rockstar, and today I'm here with a fellow Street Shaman,
Hey,
UG Rose. What's good? How you been?
good. How you? I've been good. How are you?
I've been good. I've been alright. So what you been up to recently? You haven't been on your YouTube shit too heavy. What's
Nah.
been taking up your time?
Actually, the whole process of moving, like it was a gauntlet. Like I feel like from the end of last year up until like maybe like March, and like I finally, when it sunk in, like I did it. I got my crib. I'm on my own. Like I'm a very late bloomer in that aspect. Some people are like, yeah, they've been living on their own since 18, 19. Yeah, no, I'm at 38. I'm just getting on my own. So it took a hell of a long time to get that shit done. So like everything stopped. Like all of my energy was like television. Get your crib. Get your crib. Get your paper. Get your crib. That was it for a good bit. So yeah.
Right. So you was in the Bronx. You was staying with family, or what was going on then?
Yeah, I was living with family. We're splitting the rent or whatever. And it's like, and it's not a problem. It's never a problem living with family, but it's like after a while, like I looked at like my whole life. I've never had a chance to like be on my own. And when you're not by yourself, like you kind of always worried about like the noise in the background when they doing their thing and having fun or partying or whatever. They don't take what you really doing seriously, or so like, oh, you in your room doing your podcast thing, like, so yeah, like
Right, right.
and then the noise from outside when the neighbors want to turn up in the middle of the night, you hearing da diga da da. Like, come on, man. I'm trying to sleep. I gotta get it at 5 in the morning. Yeah, like, and the transportation like was crazy. Buses run crazy uptown in the Bronx. Like the farther you go uptown, so I was just like, yo, it's got to be better than this. I could do better than this. I know I can. So I'm tired of spending, my mornings getting up at the ass crack of dawn to just to get to work on time.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people in New York, they don't want to leave out of New York, even if it's like I'm just gonna go to Jersey City. I'm just gonna go to Weehawken, which is right across the water. They're
Yeah.
like, nah. You gotta stay here, which is crazy because in New York, for the people that don't know, a lot of people just live with family because it's too fucking expensive.
It's
So
really
everybody gotta
expensive.
everybody gotta come together. Everybody gotta put their little fucking dollars together and get a place. Like it's not a spot where you can live alone. Like you can't just live alone, one bedroom by yourself type shit.
Thank you. And even if it's not that, even if you do live by yourself, the amount of money that you're spending to be a single person in the city paying rent, yo, you're getting murdered. Like that is easily a mortgage on a couple of apartments. What do you do? No, I'm good.
Right, right. Um, Not to get too personal, but how much were you paying for like how much was the rent over there in the Bronx for that apartment?
For where I was, 2,500.
Ooh, in the Bronx, in the boogie.
Yeah.
You know how ratchet that shit is in the boogie to be paying 2,500 like it's a luxury home. Like I know some places you can get a mini mansion for 2,500 a month.
Yes, my friend. I have friends who are out in PA. They tell me all the time. They're like, "Yo, come to PA. Like rent is literally like a house is $1,000 for rent." And I was saying all the time like that we could do better than this. We could do better than this, but I didn't have all the say so in where we chose to live. So I had to respect person who wanted to be in the crib with me and let them do what they wanted to do. They're a grown person now, so I'm like, you know what? Now that you good, we done this for long enough. I'm gonna take my freaking money and go and get some green
Right.
space, be by a park.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like I had to get out.
Absolutely. I remember like when I was living in the Bronx, no lie, I was living in the Bronx. Um, I paid 750 a month. 750 a month, which is an apartment most places in America. You know
Right.
what I had? I had a basement room, small, tiny basement room where you can only fit a twin size bed and like a TV on this side. And you had to shimmy through that motherfucker
Right.
And I had a bathroom. I had a bathroom. This was like basically a room for rent, but with a bathroom for $750.
Right.
But the basement wasn't like finished. I had to go through the back and go down through some stairs, like on some sneaky homeless man shit, to get to the room that I was paying $750 for.
Right. Exactly. Like, why I feel like I'm breaking in my own shit. I don't like that. I want a front door. I want lights. I want proper lighting. You know how dangerous that is? Like, one of my people had a crib like that. And every time that it snowed, he had to be like out there with like ice and chips because he's like, yo, I busted my ass on my steps, you know? Like, got a concussion. I'm like, the struggle, too many struggles.
Right.
One.
Right. I was worried about rats and possums and shit. Like, I'm gonna go down this motherfucking dark ass step in the back, and I'm gonna hit a possum, and that motherfucker's gonna fuck me up.
Right? They down there smoking. Like, what else? Like, you walked in on they shit. It's dangerous. I'm sorry. In New York rodents, y'all understand. For anybody who has not been in the city, like, yeah, New York rodents are dangerous. Like, they'll walk up on you and shank you. You don't understand.
For real. Yeah, nah. One time going up there to the Bronx with my cousin, 3 rats came out of a hole off a bridge. We were passing an overpass, a bridge, and they just popped out of the bridge. One of them landed on our foot, like we was landing right on our feet. Like, one landed on mine, one landed on his. I kicked the fuck out of that rat, started booking it across the street. It was disgusting. I'm like, what the fuck?
They're disrespectful. I swear. Yeah, same thing. It's not that like listen, people broke it. I've never in all of my years of having my little whip, like no one's ever broken my car. They just broke my car at the height of the pandemic. I'm like, enough, yo. I'm sorry. I can't. I was at my wit's end. That was really frustrating.
People are breaking in cars right now. That's how crazy it was.
They stole my airbags.
Well, your airbags, not for nothing, UG, your airbags was worth a couple dollars. It was worth a couple dollars. They had to pop that. Nah, but seriously, it's getting that crazy now that people like New York and New Jersey was never known for like robbing cars like that because people had money. So it was like, dog, if you robbing a car, like you a bum. Like, what you doing? Like,
you're down bad if you busting a car. They stopped doing that like in the 80s. Like I remember my mom had like an old Volvo and they've been there, jacking batteries and taking people's stereos. Like that was one thing. But like we in the 2020s now. Come on. We still doing it again. Lolo.
Yo, that fucking pandemic fucked a lot of people up financially, mentally. Like a lot of people got broken from that shit. For real.
Levels. Hell yeah.
For real. So, did you hear about Black Lives Matter? The person that runs that shit, how she just bought a $6 million home?
I did. I did. And for a quick second, like, I got a little heated. I'm not going to lie.
A little heated?
Nah, because I'm like, all right, well, what are they doing with the property? Like, I'm not trying to disparage anybody, and I don't have the receipts. I don't know exactly what is the fund, and that was her money from her doing her own thing, or she was flipping stuff, and maybe that's how she got the bread. But I'm like, but I thought that all this money was supposed to be going toward people's cases and movements and fiscal, not fiscal, like civic things that are raising awareness and bringing people together. And I'm like, but you out here buying property though? That don't sound right. How? Big
and beautiful homes.
Right. And a couple of them. Wasn't it more than one?
More than one. Probably close to like 5. It's like 5 to 10 right now.
Yeah. Nah. Unless you're using that for the purposes of being a headquarters, or again, helping financially destitute like young people. Like you're doing something civically, like overall you're doing something for the cause. With the money, then what are you doing? What did the public, what did you garner all that public support for? What did people spend their hard-earned money on to donate to your thing? Oh, for you to just have a couple of cribs? Nah.
Right.
I'm like, yo, run me the receipts. If I contributed, I want to see the receipt.
Right. Thank God I ain't put a fucking dollar in her pocket, man. That's that bullshit. For real. Like, she spent the first one that drew the red flag was the $1 million home. But before that, she was already buying like 2-3 homes that were like 400,000, 300,000,
right,
750. Like, she's bought some fucking homes. If it was me and I'm running BLM, if I'm getting that much fucking money, yeah, if I'm gonna buy homes, it's gonna be for a community, support a community, bring people up, do rent to own, get people, and so they can get their own shit up. So they,
right. Mm-hmm.
But she was straight on some bullshit. Her and her girlfriend, she bought her girlfriend a home. Oh, my girl, your girlfriend lives with you. Why does your girlfriend need a home?
Like, I don't. The mathing, I don't understand why you getting extra credit. You two people. Two people could do one house. So all the other houses, what you doing with them? Because otherwise, again, run me the receipts. I want a refund. I want a financial report. This is why people are so distrusting of making donations to organizations, in my opinion. Because like, okay, well, where's my money going? You want me to sponsor, hyenas in the Sahara or whatever you want me to donate my money to? I need to understand. I need a breakdown of where my money is going so that I have faith in these organizations. How many other organizations have been like caught with fraud? All the people that donated to Hurricane Katrina victims, all the people that donated to Red Cross, they just like, so how many organizations are, oh, we just lost $1 million. My bank is checking me. If I go $1 over the money in my account, I'm getting an overdraft fee, and y'all just losing money out here. Wow.
Right. No, I mean, like, I read a book about business, and in the book about business, one of like the key things that they said about a business to be successful is open up your business alongside with a nonprofit. And I was like, that's a little evil.
That's the mob shit. If you look, when I finally learned what a nonprofit is, like, did you have the same reaction? You're like, wait a minute. Nonprofits don't have to report their expenses to nobody. They don't have to give any account to the people who invested into it. And any dealings that any external monies or additional monies that they gather, they like it could easily go into their pocket because it goes through the wash and then it disappears.
Yep. Yeah.
Mob shit. Everything is a mob shit.
It's fucked up, man. It's not right.
We gotta do this. We gotta get this bread.
Nah, see, I'm too much of a good person. Like in that moment where it's like, oh, we got all this money, I'm gonna feel super guilty if I just blow it on myself. Like I'm like, yeah, I might have the nice thing, and that's one of those things. Is like, I'm not gonna be worried about the thing. Like, she's worried about, oh, I'm gonna get the beautiful home over here. Like, where's your mind at, girl? Where's your mind at?
Get her girl a crib. Huh?
We gotta get a crib. I'm gonna get me a crib. I'm gonna get my girl a crib. It's like, wait, no, hold up.
Hold up. My mom get a crib. Everybody in my family get a crib. I don't know about y'all.
Right. She said some bullshit like that too. She said, I wanna, I'm taking care of Black people. And my family comes first. So I'm taking care of my family. I'm gonna take their Black, so I'm gonna help them with some homes, on the state.
Right.
She got a home in Atlanta that has a fucking clear port, that has a strip for a plane to land at.
Yo, the finesse is real. Look, I'll take all the guilt. We just gotta just help me with the idea, and you don't have to worry about the money. I'll just give you a big donation and say, Poe, for all your hard work, I'm buying you a crib with a helicopter pad inside it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about where it came from.
Yeah, but it's not even a helicopter pad. It's fucking
runway.
It's a runway for an airplane.
Like, what is you doing? You directed plane to your crib? What is you doing? I'm telling you, something shady. It's something no. Something ain't clean in the milk. No.
For real, no, for real. So, what are your views? We're gonna shift gears a little bit. What are your views on the Ukraine and Russia war that's happening right now?
That it is none of my freaking business. However, there are people that I work with, like my VP in my department directly. I believe that he has family that is, from Ukraine. So he got together with I think it's a charitable organization that helps helps through like cooking events to raise money and awareness and whatnot. So tons of baked goods were put together to donate for them to sell, and then they also like gave us back some of the residual for the office. And yeah, like, and just if anybody could spare anything, like food or clothing or basic supplies, we gathered those to ship over there, sent money over there. The company donated, so that I'm not well versed in exactly what happened or to cause all of it or like all the events leading up to it, but we all know that Putin's been a problem for a long time, and he's been tripping, and now he's big tripping and messing with everybody because his ego is getting the best of him, and unfortunately people's lives are hanging in the balance, and that's what has me pissed off. But this is the world that we're in right now.
No doubt. Yeah, like I've heard that narrative, I've heard that story, I've heard the other side as well, which I kind of believe more because I know how much of a scumbag the government of the United States is. So right now, what I've heard is basically like we out there poking a bear. We poking Putin. We know Putin is hot-headed. We know that motherfucker, he ain't right in his head. Right, he ain't right. But we poking that motherfucker by being like, oh, Ukraine, hey, you want to get down with us? Yo, what's up? You want to get down? You can get down with NATO. You can get down with the European Alliance. Right. So what's up? You want to? And Ukraine's like, yeah, we get down with that. We'll get down with that. And then
like twitching with the ICANN, like IT. Yeah.
And you got Putin upset, like, dog, what y'all doing over there? And US is like, nah, we just giving them some weapons and we just hitting them off with some shit, you know what I mean? And then
doing nothing.
Right. And at the same time, we're like, oh, we're gonna give you all these weapons, we're gonna give you all these things, but you're gonna have to pay us back, Ukraine. Exactly. 3 times the amount that we gave you. This is gonna be 300%. Like I've heard some shit where US is playing Ukraine and it's making Ukraine go in there and it's fucked up because I can't imagine living in a place where another country got this country set up for war, and now I gotta worry about bombs everywhere I go.
My head, right? Dropping in my school or when I'm trying to go and get food, or there are women that freaking a maternity ward in the hospital. The women are in the basement with babies, like having to manually pump air into their lungs because the air tanks in the NICU have been damaged, and the babies are on life support. Like it's crazy. And I think, if my memory serves me correctly, someone please by all means correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a similar situation that had Osama pissed off because when they were, I think, in conflict with, I don't know if it was Russia as well at that time, but the United States did the same shit. Hey, we'll give you all these weapons to help you fight the war. And then they fought the war, and they were like, oh, and we promise that we'll invest in infrastructure and help build everything back up. And once the war was done, US was like, And they're like, oh, this is how you want to play? All right, we got you. However many years later, someone comes out like, yeah, I know a whole bunch of shit about your government. I used to work for them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy because a lot of the media is like, we should feel sorry for every country that has to go through war and has to go through some shit. But a lot of the media has been saying shit like, "Oh, it's the things that are happening in Ukraine right now are so sad because they're white with blue eyes," and it's like, wait a minute, we shouldn't. Come on, we shouldn't do that because there's a lot of countries that dealing with some shit and going through some shit, and a lot of it is our doing. America, I'm speaking.
Right.
And we are not even looking over there in that direction. We're like, oh shit, I don't know what's happening on that. They ain't got nothing to do. Yo, Ukraine, white, blue eyes. It's like, dog, what y'all doing?
Right.
Y'all stay playing the non-racist game, but y'all doing a lot of racist shit right now. That's it. Come on, dog.
I love when they make it seem like, oh, like I think I've heard reports. The reports have been flooding in about people who are immigrants in Ukraine being denied passage, at the border into Poland. But they're giving priority to people who are non-people of color. But they want the people who are of color to be in there fighting. They want to give them guns and say, hey, go and, get into the fray and stand for our country. And everybody's like, oh, no. I'm not doing that for y'all. If y'all won't even allow me safe passage or my loved one safe passage out of this country, then there's no allegiance that I need to have to y'all, because the only thing that separates, us from cannon fodder is the color of our skin. That doesn't work. No, absolutely not. I'm not fighting for you.
Right. And then there's that thing that I've heard about Ukraine where the Americans that came in, Americans and people from the UK that came in as volunteers because they were so moved by what was going on with the war. They came in as volunteers. So they were in as volunteers. The Ukraine military is just pushing them out to the front to die and just kill themselves. Go ahead, you go first. You go first.
People out there with BB guns and pea shooters, like, I don't even know what to do. What am I aiming for? Like, these people are not trained. What are you doing?
No, I'm talking about the military people that are trained here and in the UK, and they're going out there thinking they're gonna help somebody. And Ukraine is just treating them like, whatever, go ahead. You go ahead and go first. You go ahead and we'll be right behind you. And their people are getting hurt and dying and shit, so they're trying to leave. And while they were trying to leave, if they had their military equipment on them, their military outfits on them and shit, they would get stopped at the borders and say, nah, you can't leave. You came here for this shit. You gotta turn around and get into that war.
Wow. What?
Yeah, there's a lot of shit going on. I don't even try to put it up on my Instagram and shit because like talking on here, I got like free range. I'm not monetizing the shit as far as ads. So I don't care if 200 people, 100 people see this shit. I don't give a fuck as long as some people know, and I'm gonna talk what I see and what I know. Right, but on Instagram, on Instagram or Facebook or some shit, they taking that shit down. They gonna ban you. I ain't got time for that. But I've heard a lot of bullshit. I've heard the shit where the people that were black, some people that were gay were going to the borders of Ukraine and they were told they were the last in line.
Yep.
Leave.
Yep. I've seen the footage of people just sitting at the train station. Everyone else is allowed to get on the train, but they're still waiting. Like, all right now. So in the midst of atrocity, y'all have the time to be this petty? This is what we're doing in Ukraine? Come on now. We got to do better. Please do better. No.
Right. There's a lot, man. There's a lot going like going on with this war and shit.
Yeah.
You
And then
know, I feel for those people in Ukraine that ain't got shit to do with the war. Because if you ain't in the government, if you ain't in the military, you really ain't got fuck all to do with the war. You
right.
just a casualty.
Yeah. But unfortunately, it still reflects poorly on you when your country is capable of doing this in the midst of like these are dire straits right now. The goal should be that look, all civilians, as we're trying to move as many civilians out of harm's way as possible. We're indiscriminate of or of where you're from, the color of your skin, your sexuality. We don't have time for that. The point
Right.
is preserve human life. And if we're
Right.
not doing that, like these are the things that make people feel like, oh, like how can we feel kind of like sympathy for what they're going through when this is what they're capable of, or how could we really care about fighting for them or speaking well on them when this is what is being reflected in the media. And the media is hyping shit too. And and recording and saying, oh well, this level of savagery isn't expected in this part of the world. Like, wait a minute. So places where brown people are is where savagery is supposed to happen, but this isn't supposed to be happening in that neck of the woods. That's what y'all saying? Wow.
Right. Yeah. Like covertly, they're just telling on themselves. Like if you're paying enough attention, you can be like, yo, you telling on yourself. You telling me exactly how you really feel.
Exactly. Say that shit with your chest. Don't try to dance around the shit. Say, oh yeah, now y'all savages, y'all brown people, y'all supposed to be blowing each other smithereens and cutting shit, your heads off and shit. That's what y'all do. Over here, we're supposed to be civilized and talk about things because we're so much better. No, you're freaking not. And this situation is exactly the type of situation that proves that, yeah, being ignorant has nothing to do with your skin color whatsoever.
Right. Absolutely. All right, so let's shift gears. Fuck all that shit that we just talked about.
Right.
I mean, I feel for the people, but it ain't got fuck all to do with us.
Right. It is what it
is. Absolutely. So what's your take on the modern dating situation? I know my homie UG Rose is single. You single like a Pringle, right?
Yes.
You single like a Pringle.
You see him out here thugging these she's love.
So how do you feel about the current modern dating life as pertain to the feminist movement moving it this way, MGTOW moving it that way? How do you feel about that?
I'm sorry, you broke up for a second. Did you ask how I feel about the shit show that's going on between men and women who are supposed to be grown? That's what you said, right?
I did not break up. You heard me clearly. I said MGTOW and feminist. You heard
the fuckery, right? That's what
I said. So tell me how you really feel, Yuji.
I'm saying, like, in so many words, it's a shit show. Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel I have a daughter. I talk about her all the time. Like, she's the freaking love of my life. And I look at how people are being, and I wonder, like, what kind of world is my child going to grow up in? Like, she wants a family. She wants to, enjoy her life with someone. And I don't want to tell her, sweetie, well, that might not happen because the way that young men are being right now is kind of dangerous for you to be in a relationship because young men are very angry and they don't really have a lot to look forward to. And you don't want to be in a relationship where you have to push someone who feels socially neutered for lack of a better phrase. There's a lot of things that young men feel that they should have that they don't have. There are a lot of things that young women have been pushed to do because we have to be hyper competitive and so women is out here, beast mode and trying to get it. It don't matter who we have to step on. So companionship is like very, very hard to come by. Very hard.
Right. Right. But do you think that's okay to be telling your daughter that there's a lot of most of the men are out here not right or what?
I don't tell
Talk
her
to me.
no, I don't tell
Talk
her
to me.
I don't tell her that most of the men aren't right. I'm just saying that it's difficult. I don't want her to get out into this world and be like all like hit for stars, like, Mom, what the whole fuck? You ain't tell me that. Like, I don't want her to feel like that, because when I got older and I went out into the dating world, that's kind of how I felt. I felt like all the women in my family were talking about, well, oh, you're supposed to be married, and marriage is supposed to be like this, and you don't have no children out of wedlock. Okay, but how many of y'all was fucking before y'all got married? I'm just saying, when things got when things got real and I was out in the world on my own, I felt like there was very little guidance outside of don't get pregnant and don't bring home nobody that you ain't serious with. So how
Right.
I'm out here thotting and popping on the handstand like, well, I ain't bringing none of y'all home, so I don't care. but how to pick like a quality person was like foreign to me, and I feel like that's what a lot of young people, especially like, come on, Pope, we both from the Bronx, so everybody's running out here playing hide and go get it, and not worrying about how they're conducting themselves or the perceptions that people are building based on our behavior. And we learned a whole bunch of toxic, crazy shit from our family. So we go out into the world, we're little time bombs. Like, yeah, we gonna go off on somebody and wind up in a situation that we wasn't ready for. And heaven help us, because we looking at crazy shit like it's normal because of what our family and our families showed us, and what we seen our peers doing. That's wild. And yeah, so like it's like you learn how to make a bunch of mistakes, and then like your grief teaches you, oh, I really wish I didn't waste how many years of my life doing that.
Right. Yeah. I just think that we ain't teaching our kids properly, like how to gel together. Now we got, I feel like, I know the MGTOW movement came after the feminist movement. So they're telling the women all the things that they want to hear, but some of the things are not good for them.
Right.
So, and they're not really thinking about how it's going to gel in society. They're just thinking about one side. I'm going to prop you up as much as possible. Mm-hmm. So now there's tons of men. There's plenty of men out there that have been told that they are shit, that they ain't, you know what I mean? Like, so it gets to the point where a lot of these guys don't even want to try.
Yeah.
And it's very easy if you don't want to try. If you don't want to try, there's mad shit to distract you. There's mad things that you can do as a man to never even talk to a woman ever again.
Exactly.
And with the dynamics being shifted that way, it's not looking too good. The women are sitting there, just everything is about money and social status, which comes from buying things and having the nice shiny thing.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, look, I got this. I get my nails done every 2 weeks. They barely even grow back, but I got them done again. Right. I got you know what I mean? Like,
I keep my hair did. You see?
My hair did. I got a $500 to $1,500 bag that I just hold my stuff in. It's getting, and my thing is, a lot of not all men, but a good majority of the men don't really care about the stuff.
Right.
They don't care about the stuff. There's a nice chunk that does, but most of them don't care about the stuff. If they go and get the stuff, it's only to try to attract the woman.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's like I gotta get the woman. The woman don't fuck with me as is. I gotta get the stuff to get the woman.
Right.
So they're really doing a good job. They're doing a good number on society, like all of us. Mm-hmm. Men are trying to get the woman. Women are just trying to get the money and the stuff.
Yeah. Everything is messed up right now. Like as a man, like how does that make you? Do you see the inversion of like, or the flip of how like back in the day, I remember when we was growing up, it was the guys who were trying to get the things that the women liked because that would bring the women. But this shit you would go for broke trying to get this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, dudes was doing all type of stuff, getting it by any means, hustling, flipping money, trying to, run their scam or whatever to get the bread.
Right.
And that was dangerous. That led to, at least in the inner city and urban environments, at least a lot of violence is male on male perpetuated violence, because men are criminally minded in the name of trying to look like that dude. So
right.
No matter who gets mowed over, they don't care. And usually it's the most violent dudes that wind up with the women gravitating toward them.
Yep.
Did you say that? You talk about it all the time, how like you was like the nice, cool one. So the woman was like, oh, he ain't nobody. What you gonna do? What you like not taking you seriously? Like, yo, I'm out here doing my thing though. Artistically, you sleeping on me.
Right. Yeah. I was always the type of person that, like, even as a kid, as a teenager, I didn't want a car because I wanted the person that I was with to love me for me. I've always been that person, for better, for worse. I was like, nah, you gotta love me for who I am. You can't love me because I had a car. I didn't like the fact that people would get a car, or a lot of niggas that I knew would be like, yo, I gotta get me a car because then I can start getting the girls. Like, dog.
Why?
I'm not getting a car because women are gonna come to me because I have a car.
Right, exactly.
I'm not doing that.
Chick who ain't talk to you because the chick that didn't talk to you because you didn't have the J's, you didn't have the chain, you didn't have the wit. Those are the ones that you don't fuck with.
Absolutely.
Those are the exact one that you leave alone.
Absolutely. So that brings me to the next little topic that's gonna end this here. About people having certain type of status or certain type of things, and then people latching onto them because of the status. And we're talking about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett.
Oh man.
I'm sorry. She latched on. She latched on. She saw the potential in him, but she didn't see the potential like I see the potential in you. You're like down at the bottom. You're working really hard. Nobody has noticed it. I'm the first one. I'm here. I'll be supportive. That's the man's dream. That's a man's dream.
Right.
Keep it 1,000 with you. A woman that's a ride or die chick. Remember that song? Ride or die. I need a ride or die chick.
Yeah, the lot.
Right. That was the joint. That's what guys love. We dream of that. Like, woo, you know what I mean? Like, we really do.
Right. She got people, whatever. Yeah.
Right. So she jumped in while he was already successful. Like, he was successful in music. He was successful in TV shows. He was already getting there in the movies. And she latched on.
Yep.
But really, who she liked was Tupac, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. But to my point, she wanted the thug. Tupac at that point where she was digging him had how many cases, how many assault charges was going on, that he going in and out of jail, because I think the whole reason why he got down with death row was because he wound up out on Rikers, and it was Suge that bailed him out. And so he wound up signing his deal because basically Suge owned his ass after he bailed him out. So you want someone who has like active cases over someone who is, for all appearances, a good man.
A good dude.
Okay.
That's a good dude.
You are. Heard you.
Right. She wasn't a good dude. So we all know, I'm sure everybody knows, I don't know who's been under a rock, but everybody knows that Will Smith went up there, slapped the shit out of Chris Rock because of the fact that he said something about her looking like G.I. Jane, which she did. She had a green dress on. She looked a little G.I. Jane-ish. I'm sorry. She did. She looked like G.I. Jane.
And then, but my thing is like, Will has been through how much with this woman? You have this man out here in these streets looking crazy. You create a show where basically you have carte blanche to air all your shit out, and the person just has no other choice than to be like, oh, because everybody else is like divulging all these personal details, let me start divulging all these personal details. Like every time I show, Lord, I was abused when I was a child, and Lord, this person was touching on me when I was 5, and like all these traumatic things start coming out on her show. So you bring a man here, you do not give him any like forewarning, nothing. As far as from his reaction, it did not look like he was braced to, hey, I was entangled with August. The fuck you mean you was entangled with August? What? Yeah, and now on top of this, after you like just tear the lid off of that in such a visceral way, you want this man to be out in these streets going after anybody who makes funny little pea-headed ass or dirty yard guy way I talk about. I'm not defending nobody. No, not
right. Right.
You get a little hoe, so you go ahead and you handle that. You go smack Chris.
Right. Now she's been saying I don't know if this is true or not, but I've seen a statement where she said she didn't need to be protected because she's a strong, independent woman. So what Will Smith did was wrong. So now Will Smith did some shit on account of your ass because he was laughing, he was chilling.
Now he's wrong.
Now he's wrong.
You were laughing. It was a joke made in good faith. Chris Rock he's a comedian. If you're in, I don't know if you remember the show on BET, Comic View, or how many other shows, the dozens, Uptown Comedy Club. If you were in like the area right around the stage, you in the hot zone. If a comedian wants some material on the fly, he going off on how your lace front is fronting because all of your hairline ain't straight, or how you got on fake name brand, whatever. Like they're gonna go off on whatever material they could get from the crowd. They're gonna get from the crowd. You're sitting in an area where, of course, everyone is seeing you, and there's a comedian that is known for kind of going after people for a little cheap shot, for a little quick joke. You can't just laugh that shit off and keep it pushing. What is wrong with you? Will is here having a good old time laughing at your expense. Yes, so what? It was a corny ass joke about a movie from freaking 1995. If you really from the hood, you should have been like, oh, 95 call. They want their jokes back. And you really skinny for somebody who has such a big overbite. I don't know.
Right.
She could have went off, and it could have been a good humor, good fade, back and forth little joke, and then everybody move along. You sick your man on the host of a globally broadcast event, and then get with everybody and shame him for defending you. I can't. The levels of stupidity, like I just don't want it. I'm sorry. I don't care. I'm from the hood. I ain't fighting over no dude, and I don't want no dude fighting over me unless like he's actually like come at me. If it's something that I did, no, don't fight for me. I'm gonna stand up for myself. But if someone is physically coming at me, by all means, boo, protect me. Like if the woman's coming at you, I'm gonna yank her damn lace front off. Yes, I will. But if it's some dumb shit that we both got ourselves into, nah, take the roast and keep it pushing. Ain't no need to start a whole damn fight. Right.
It's just it's so crazy because he was saying, like at the end when he was crying, he was like, oh, King Richard protected his family and all this other shit. I'm like, you didn't protect shit. You didn't protect not one motherfucking thing in there.
Right. He didn't even protect himself. Like, bro, you are messing up your own endorsements, your own movie deals, your own professional reputation. You are not even protecting yourself in the name of protecting someone who did not protect the faith that you invested in her as your wife. That's wild. No.
Yeah. And now because he slapped Chris, all this shit's coming out. So now they got a video of him like where Jada was trying to record him on some like type of therapy session that he was having, and he was like, I would appreciate if you asked me before you started recording. And she's like, this is the foolishness that I got to deal with. You see this? This is the shit that I got to deal with. Like,
sorry.
Respect the man's privacy. How dare you to be like, that's one of the big red flags for me.
But you said it.
Especially
no respect. That's exactly
right.
what's happening right now.
Absolutely. That's one of the big red flags. If somebody's just trying to record me and be goofy with me and trying to record me at my worst and looking crazy, like, here you are. Like,
why you being a baby? Why you being so? Let me get all up in your business and expose it to the world. Like, no. This is. I'm trying not to ramble because I know that we got to wrap up in a bit. But like, this is my whole thing with how relationships are going nowadays. Like, look, if you don't have like basic respect for somebody, that is my biggest thing. I don't care like however I conduct myself in the privacy of a relationship is what we establish together. But like the public realm is something that like we're supposed to kind of like our maturity levels are supposed to show in those initial phases of us getting with each other. So if I see a trend of you not respecting me, you stepping all over my boundaries, you mocking me, making fun of me, you persisting when I say chill or whatever, that is a huge indication that you're not the one for me. I don't care how much I like you, but those basic tenets have to be established, or else like it's not gonna get better later on. If I didn't learn nothing from my last marriage, my only marriage, I learned that look, whatever happens or starts off at the basic dating phase of a relationship, it's only going to get worse, exponentially worse as time goes on.
Right, absolutely. Now she got another video, another clip or whatever came out about Willow Smith talking about or making a letter for Tupac, who she never met in her fucking life. She wasn't even born when he died. So she's like, Tupac, can you come back?
And love my mommy because she loves you so.
You'll make my mommy happy. And me like, hold up. She's in a relationship with Will Smith. Like, and you're Willow Smith, which is a play on your dad's name.
Yep, exactly.
And you out here bugging out, writing letters to a dead man, talking about come back so that way my mom and me can be happy. So how much did your mom tell you about Tupac?
That you writing letters to this man begging him to come back. I'm like, yo, this is next level. How do you have a love triangle with it's me and my husband and my dead would-be booty call or ex-boyfriend? Like, what? Oh,
there's a lot of.
I feel sorry for them.
No, it's not even just celebrity, girl. This is fucking textbook narcissism. This is textbook covert narcissism. Right. She knew that look that she gave Will was gonna trigger something. She's out here telling her kids like, yeah, I know you were Will Smith's kid, but you're supposed to be Tupac's kid or some shit. She gotta be telling them something to have them be like, come back, please. I would love you to be back here. And my mom
to be my daddy. Like, what? Oh,
and now Will Smith done smacked Chris Rock in front of everybody. And now she's like, oh, I didn't condone that. I didn't need protection.
I didn't need anybody to protect me, is what I think. I read a statement online from her.
My
I feel like
God.
You gave him the look like, if you don't get up and handle this, we're going to have a problem. That is the look of a mother who is expecting a child to snap and be like, don't say that shit about my mom. Yeah, right. And if he didn't do it, then she would have made all type of public statements about him being a horrible husband, and this is why they're having problems, and like it's a lose-lose situation for him. At this point, I really just was like, Will would be like, you know what? I am filing for a divorce. I don't know where his friends are. Where's his mama? That could not be my son, because I would be the mom that would be fighting my daughter for doing that.
And that is the red flag right there that people ain't talking about.
The fact that he's so isolated. Where are the people?
Will ain't got no friends. Will ain't got no friends. I'll tell you about my relationship, my last relationship that I had before this one with Melissa. I was isolated. I had 0 friends.
Right. Yeah.
And she loved it that way, obviously.
Yeah.
Because she loved that.
Because then you're all about her. They want that chamber very well enforced of like, just everyone just love me, give me love, and feed me love, and I don't care what you lose in the process, just give me love. Like, yeah, abuse. It's very abusive.
Absolutely. It's just a lot of shit to go into this. It's not just a slap, and people could say, "Oh yeah, it's a slap because he heard and she got alopecia," and it's like, okay, I get that, but you trying to play the victim card again, and you and I understand clearly how the world has been just trying to play the victim card wherever they fucking can.
Absolutely, all the time. Everything is like, then this is where like stuff goes left in history. Is like, okay, you start giving people or marginalized groups the means to dominate the conversation and just talk about how rough they've had it. That is putting for lack of a better term, that is putting the whips in the hands of the slaves. So that is going to turn into them whipping anybody, whipping their fellow man, woman, whipping the masses as they can, whipping whoever they can, because it's okay now to just lash out in any direction and no one has to make an account for the damage that they've caused. Like, nah, there has to be some realm of like sanity where it's like, look, no, like, I understand that you're hurting, but you don't have the right to just be out here just like spazzing on everyone and just basically just spewing a whole bunch of really just gnarly shit into the collective into the collective cohesion that we're supposed to have if we're not going to rip each other apart as a society.
Absolutely. I just feel like media is just manipulation at a grand scale. It manipulates all of us. It makes us think about our life differently. It makes us think about our choices differently. It just fucks us all up. Like, she was out there trying to help August Alsina with his mental illness, while Will Smith was dealing with his own mental illness.
How are you trying to help one man while your husband is going through it, and you had that's nothing to do with me. August needed us, and I thought that it was okay for me to be supportive, and he saw a mother figure, and like just her telling her side of the story just comes off as like freaking wild. If the roles were reversed and he brought a woman into the house that he was revering and loving and doting on more than her, she would have had a freaking meltdown, and she knows it. Like, how does this happen? Like, how does this happen in your mind, like in your circle, like your boy, like y'all talk about this stuff, like, yo, this is why these women ain't shit. Like, because what I hate about the situation is like what she did and what these types of situations where women are playing men for a fool do is they just get, it's like spread out, like broad brush across, like, oh, this is what all women do. Like, I don't know her. Like, y'all acting like we play because of some shit. I'm not co-signing nothing that she did. How is it like that all women are messed up now because of what she did? Right.
It's like a lot of people nowadays, I really feel this way. I really believe this shit. It's like a good 30% of people have BPD right now. They're thinking in black and white. They're jumping on the emotions. I feel like a lot of people have BPD
Facts. Right.
because you can't just be so black and white about anything.
Right, and
I'm not
so snappy, like so impulsive, like and quick. Like you just know you don't see that there are levels to this. You don't see that this is a game. You don't see that these things are like things that get again is injected into our consciousness to have us like at odds with everything about our lives.
right, right. I mean, this motherfucker spent 3 years to make a birthday party for her. He spent 3 years, 37 birthdays, and 37th birthday. I hired a company to work on getting her 40th birthday perfect. I got all the things that she liked. I had Mary J. Blige performing. I did everything.
What?
And her answer was, "This is a ridiculous display of your ego."
Like what? You know what?
I'm gonna tell you. Hold on, UG. I'm gonna tell you from a person that dealt with somebody that is that self-centered, self-absorbed, and that broken. It don't matter what you do. I'll bring it back to this one time. My ex-girl, she used to think that she was fucking my body's not good. My body's not good. So she took a squat and I took a picture of her ass like squatting down and it was big and it was perfect. I put it up on Instagram at the time. The shit got mad likes, all types of shit, mad comments, people. Yo, son, yo, she crazy. You lucky, you blessed, all this shit. She fought me to take it down. She fought me to take it down because it proves her wrong. That's what was happening. Right. I proved you wrong, and now I'm the enemy.
Exactly, because what's running in their head is, oh my gosh, I look so horrible because I want people to tell me that I look good. Okay, so I'm gonna keep on saying that I look horrible. Now a bunch of people are telling you, again, it's running counter to what they want people to believe so that they get the compliments and the reassurance. No, honey, you look good. You look good, boo. Don't worry about it. No, how dare you stop me from getting my sympathy?
Yup. Exactly.
That's what that was.
Exactly. It was like, you trying to call me on my game?
Yes.
It was like a snare look, like you motherfucker. How dare you call me on the game that I'm playing here?
Right. And make me look bad.
Oh man,
How dare you prove to everybody else that I have emotional support and shouldn't feel this way about myself? How dare you?
I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that shit. No more. That's now that bullshit. I'm single,
and now you see why I be like, "Hi Melissa, hi boo. This is why I like her." As long as you happy, my dude, I love her.
She is.
Y'all hold each other down because it's crazy in these streets. Okay.
No, seriously, like my girl, she's the best, man. We all have our problems. We deal with shit. We have little arguments and shit like that. But she's the best. She's ride or die for real. The man's dream. She's willing to do what needs to be done. She ain't out here really bitching, complaining, feeling entitled. Yo, if you can get somebody like that, that shit is gold. Cause I'm the same way. Like, I do my shit. I do my online shit. I do my, my podcast. I do my music. But I try my best to not overdo it so I can have time for her. Exactly. I don't do that shit extra to the point that you just ignored in the corner or you just like a sidekick. I don't want to do that shit.
And man. That's it. Like, that's all, in my opinion. I know that, yes, there are much more complicated things to a relationship. All the freaking like pontifying and hypothesizing about shit. Like, look, if you meet someone who lets you be you, in however many iterations that can become. Like, okay, 1 minute I'm this way, cool. Next minute I could be this way, I know that. Next minute I could be a little bit of an asshole, I know that. But the fact that you rock with me through the levels of me figuring my shit out is what I appreciate. And that's what a lot of people don't have a tolerance for, which is why, like, okay, like, you know what, relationships is kind of ain't, in my opinion, it's not it right now for me, but for people who are in it and they are happy, yo, I freaking salute y'all, because it is not easy. It is no simple task to be with anybody in this climate right now.
100%. Yo, UG, let everybody know where they can find you, how they can reach you, and all that.
You can reach me via email at UG4all if you want to chat that way. But otherwise, you can meet me on Instagram at ugrose.com. And then like my poetry shit is like UG Rose. You'll see me on there on some random shit, but that's where I put like my poetry. And now that I've gotten to this point, I can become creative again, because I ain't in the struggle right now. So it's time to do my thing.
I feel you. And a lot of the struggle has to do with, just having a good peace of mind. It ain't really having to do with like your money in your bank or shit like that. It really has to do with peace of mind and being able to have your space to do the shit that you love.
Exactly. For real, right? Entire words. Yo, amen. Amen.
For real. For real. Yo, thanks everybody in the chat. Thank everybody that's gonna come after this and watch this shit. Make sure you leave a comment if you can leave a comment. If you could donate, make sure you donate. The check out the description to donate. Also in the description it shows you where you can buy merch for the Street Shaman merch and shit. I'm about to have some new shit for Godhead that's about to come out soon.
I need my shit.
Check out Honest. Check out Honest is coming out next Friday, not tomorrow, but next Friday on the 15th. Brand new song with me and ZYCO. The Godhead shit's about to go crazy for y'all. I'm just letting y'all know now, so that way y'all don't get, y'all don't get crazy. Right. This is Street Shaman Podcast. I'm Shamanic Poe, aka Poe and the Rockstar, here with UG Rose, and we out of here.